6 o'clock.
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
And I was the person that had to check.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
not girlfriend. Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, we met her.
You kept saying him, and I'm like, what?
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to our DeKalb County Central United School District Board of Education regular meeting. Today is Tuesday, August 18th, 2026. At this time, I'll ask all that are able to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Angie, could you do roll call, please?
Lauren Anderson,
Present.
Valerie Armstrong,
Present.
Tony Baker,
Present.
Tony O'Neill,
Present.
Katie Easter.
Present.
Thank you, Angie. Tonight, we have some presentations. I'll let you introduce our first guest.
We're excited. We have several people here this evening that have some great information to share. And to start us off is Mr. Wagner from the high school, recognizing one of our high school students and Barron soccer player, Christian Johnson. I'll turn it over to Mr. Wagner.
Awesome. Thank you for having us and the opportunity to recognize Christian. Christian, if you want to join me up here while I say a few words. Christian approached us a year and a half ago about doing an Eagle Scout project on campus. And as you can tell, we can't make this too long as he's got a soccer game tonight that he's got to get back to. But Christian's played soccer for all 4 years of high school and played in the middle school and is passionate about our soccer program and wanted to do something to improve that facility. So he proposed putting a flagpole in. So the details, the pre-planning, he had to put that all together for Mr. Bigelow, myself to look at and approve. And then he had to figure out how to fundraise, where the materials are coming from. So he learned quite a bit, I'm sure. But you can see the different pictures. I've kind of put together a collage that Christian shared with me. But you can see how it's formed and kind of it's in the northeast corner that everybody can see and has, I think, really beautified that facility and made our soccer flag recognition that much more impactful for our games and our community. So Christian, on behalf of DeKalb High School, DeKalb Central Schools, I would like to present you with a certificate and thank you for making this come true for the soccer program. Thank you.
I would like to thank DeKalb High School for helping me out. I would also like to thank Web Concrete Construction Incorporation for helping me out with the concrete. He helped a lot, as you can see. It's basically concrete. I'd also like to thank American Legion Post 97. They funded everything, and that's what really helped out my project. I would also like to thank my Troop 169 here in Auburn for helping me out through my whole scouting career. It's really taught me a lot, and thank you.
Congratulations. It looks awesome. Thank you for your work on this, and thank you for being here tonight. And go win your soccer game.
Yeah. Good luck. Thank you. We have Aubrey Rutherford here this evening, and our food service director, and we hear a lot of great things about our food service program, and certainly during the summer months in the summer feed program, we've gone years and years with providing literally thousands of meals for our students across the district. So we have good information to share. I'm going to turn it over to Aubrey, who was able to share some numbers with us from this year's summer feed.
Thank you. When I was trying to figure out what I was going to say, when Mark asked me if I would present today, I was really trying to look for a way to show the impact in the community. And I was like, man, all I've got is numbers. But as I was putting it together, the numbers show it. Yeah. So that's not a typo. I'm going to show you how the change in our program increased our summer participation by 36%. Okay, so this isn't when we started summer feed, but this is when we ended the previous program. So in 2023, that was our last year where we served a congregate meal service. And what that meant is that the students had to come to our park locations and they had to eat the lunches there on site. So that was half an hour serving time. They had to come every day, Monday through Friday, to be able to do that, which was great. We got it at parks where a lot of kids were able to walk or ride their bikes, but I wanted to do more. So we had 4 park locations in 2023, and we also had 2 YMCA programs. We did the CACAFP program, and then we also did the End Zone, which was before and after care that they did throughout the summer. And that program ran for 8 weeks at that time. We started the day after school ended, and we ran until the day before school started. Between those 6 sites and including lunch at registration, that year we served a total of 19,227 meals to students. So in 2024, the state decided to allow us a rural non-congregant program, and what that meant is us rural areas were able to set up where families could come get the meals and take them home. They didn't have to come sit on the site. They could take them home. We are the only one in the surrounding area that does a week's worth of meals. I thought that that was something our community was going to really benefit from, which is why we do the evening pickups between 4 and 6. That way parents can pick up the meals after they get home from work, and their kids are taken care of for breakfast and lunch for the entire week. These changes allowed us to open a site at Corona, which was something that we had been asked a lot to do. We weren't able to get it to qualify previously, but with this, we were able to get a site at Corona. We also made a switch in 2025 from serving out of Auburn Crossing to serving out of J.R. Watson. J.R. Watson helped alleviate a lot of the numbers at McKinney. McKinney was really overloaded. They had a lot of kids that were coming there. With this, there was some new limitations, and that included things like serving periods. We saw another effects of that this year with our registration. The state put in restrictions where we needed a very specific end and start time for new programs. We couldn't have them overlap. And then, we had to shorten serving periods a little bit with registration. That was just some integrity plans that the state wanted to see put in place. I asked the people that work for me this summer, what did they get out of it? What's something they really enjoyed? And this one I love the most, and it was Stacy Stout. She's our kitchen manager at McKinney. She had stated that she loved getting to know and work with people from other schools and departments, and we even had the opportunity to have a former student come work for us this summer, and so that was a lot of fun just to see students returning and helping out. So this is kind of just a quick breakdown. We started 2023, 6 locations, 8 weeks, 19,227 meals. In 24, we went down to 5 locations, still 8 weeks, but that was our first non-congregant, and we served 77,992 meals. Last year, 5 locations, we cut it down to 6 weeks. We served 48,084 meals, and that's when we switched from Auburn Crossing to J.R. Watson. The switch between those 2 sites was J.R. Watson's numbers doubled what we were serving at Auburn Crossing. And then this last year was absolutely our biggest year yet. 5 locations, 6 weeks. We did 52,330 meals. McKinney alone served 19,300 meals. So that's more than what we were doing when we were doing the congregant meals. So huge, huge impact. Some of the benefits from this is we got an opportunity to collaborate with a bunch of community members. Eckert Library has been doing this the last couple of years, They switched their program to match ours. They had offered a mobile library, so they come and they set up in the grass outside the kitchen door at McKinney. And while the families are waiting in line for us to open our doors, the kids get to go take advantage, and we had quite a few students taking advantage of that. People like Albright's, Eckert and Waterloo Library, Warm a Heart, United Way, they all help promote our program, whether they posted our flyer on their Facebook page or let us put it on their bulletin board. They even helped answer some questions. I saw the United Way answered one day in response to when these are with our flyer, so that was awesome. And then County Line Church and Warm a Heart, they were in communications with me, and they wanted to pick up and help kind of fill that gap in between when we had to end our non-congregate meals and start our registration. So they picked that up, and a lady from Warm a Heart came and watched a Waterloo service to see what we were doing to make sure she could keep going that way, and she was surprised by the numbers. But they had said that they would like to invite me to more collaborations with them this coming year to figure out how we can help the community in any way. So that was Summer Feed, and we love it. We enjoy seeing the kids and working with the community and continuing to get that need.
Great job.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. From Summer Feed to iRead, we have Mrs. Wagner here, our elementary curriculum director, to share some really exciting news from the academic side of things and from our third grade iRead data.
Yeah, I'm very excited to share this information with you. So last week, the Department of Education released the 2026 iRead, which is the third grade reading test, the results. So we just put some numbers together to share with you tonight. The first number is the big one. For the second year in a row, DeKalb Central, our overall pass percentage for iRead 3 fell in the 93% rate again. So we're super excited about that. And then if you look down a little bit, results by school, this was a milestone year for us because for the first time, all 4 of our elementary schools met or exceeded 90% pass rate. So we're super excited about that as well. And then you can look at, we just pulled a few nearby districts to see where does DeKalb Central fall compared to some of the other districts near us. And as you can see, we are leading the pack there. And especially when you look at the state average, the state pass rate this year was 88.7%, while ours was 93%. So feeling good about that. And then the last thing that we want to talk about is when we take the results and we break them down by subgroups to kind of see how everybody's doing. The first subgroup there is our general education students. So that's all third graders who don't have a special education IEP, they don't have an English learner ILP, these are our gen ed students. And our district shows 99.4% of our gen ed students passed, but I would like to say we had one student who moved in during the test window into DeKalb Central, took the test as a third grader, and then the next month moved out. So we didn't have a chance to remediate, to intervene, to retest, and so that was our one student who didn't pass, our one gen ed student. So otherwise, all of our gen ed students passed, and based on the legislative requirement, we had no third graders who had to be retained this year. So yay, yeah, super excited. And then I know Ms. Vaughn is excited about these subgroups. Did you want to talk about those other two?
I'm just really proud, and Michelle's done such a great job of just reaching all students. She and her innovation, or her instructional coaches, of reaching all of our students, and these are the best statistics we've had thus far with our subgroup special ed students. Those are the students with IEPs at 77.1, and then our free and reduced lunch population. The state watches those subgroups very, very close because a lot of our federal funding goes to educating the children in the subgroups. So when that isn't working well, they turn an eye on you and they let you know. So just really proud of it. One subgroup that we didn't have enough students to make it to the subgroup list, but that was our English learners. And actually, our Hispanic population created a subgroup this year, and they had a passage rate of over 90%. So we're looking really good there, and that's because we're reaching all of our students.
Yeah, we really feel like we have this dialed in right now, and it's really to credit our preschool through third grade teachers, the paraprofessionals that work with the students, the special education teachers, the instructional coaches, the admin. It's a team effort by everybody working together. One thing we do is we're able to utilize our weekly PLC time. We dedicate 2 PLCs a month for teachers to look at the data for reading and for math and to determine what students need some extra support, what data are we looking at, what resources are we going to use to provide that support, and how are we going to progress monitor. So I feel like all of those things together are really making a difference for us. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Lots of wonderful things happening at DeKalb, so thank you. All right, I think we'll to adopt and amend the agenda, item E. Do I have a motion from the board?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item F is our consent agenda. That's items F1 through F5. That includes our board minutes, financial report, claims, personnel, and field trips. At this time, I'll ask the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item G are donations.
And once again, I know I sound like a broken record every month. There's just thousands of dollars that have been donated for different causes across the district, and the board's been provided each of those memos highlighting the different things that have been supported through the generous gifts and donations with band and theater, and from field trips to a point of sale service for the high school, the student mini mart. You'll see the numerous soccer field improvement. I think if you go across the 612 campus, you'll notice a lot of improvements happening, and they're coming from a lot of different sources, through the donations, through the bonds that have been passed by this board in the past, but also through operations funds and overseen by Mr. Rum and Mr. Vince, our director of facilities. So these donations just go a long way in helping support all these improvements that are taking place. Volleyball, boys and girls, both esports receiving donations, the band, and just goes on and on and on. Mrs. Weishart shares a memo of the 100 Women Who Care as an organization in DeKalb County, donated $3,000 to the DMS Barron Cares Closet and Food Pantry. That's just a phenomenal amount of money, a great group of individuals in our community looking to impact organizations and people who are doing amazing things. So congratulations to Mrs. Weishart for acquiring that needed money for that initiative. Mr. Harrison talks about, in his memo, 25 backpacks for school supplies being donated. Also supplies donated from Community State Bank. Mr. Harrison is also our safety director, as you're well aware. Our cybersecurity event that's happening is totally taken care of now through the generous donations by people throughout our community, the DeKalb Central Foundation, the James Foundation, Kendall Electric, and United Way of DeKalb County. So that is all taken care of now, and we are currently working on that evening in September. We're going to be offering childcare for parents that need a place to have their children be supervised during the event. We're going to promote it we have press releases going out. We've invited Fort Wayne media as well. So we'll do everything that we can to try to get people to that event Certainly, anyone can help us out to make sure that we get people to that event, but those things are possible because of the generous donations of people and organizations in our community. So the list is long this month for the amount of donations. I mean, well into the five-figure mark. So very proud of our community for stepping up and helping us do what we need to do for our kids.
It's wonderful. Thank you, Steve. That brings us to item H, which is the report of the superintendent. H1 is our school resource office, MOU.
So I do have a memo from our school safety, our district safety director, Mr. Harrison. And essentially what this addendum is just an update to reflect the 2.5% pay increase for the 3 SROs that we currently have in our district, the 2 that come from the sheriff's office and the 1 that is employed by the Auburn Police Department. So the SRO program is extremely important. We value the partnerships that we have with the sheriff's office and also the Auburn Police Department. Mr. Harrison does a great job in partnering and communicating with our SROs and their leadership, and we appreciate that work, and we think this is well in line with what those officers deserve, and the district has always stepped up and taken care of the salary portion of the benefits are taken care of on the other side through the office, through the sheriff's office or the Auburn Police Department. Keep in mind, we also apply for a safety grant, which is a matching grant for up to $100,000, which then could mean a total of $200,000 to help offset this cost. So this is a great program, and again, we'll always evaluate and look at the needs into the future, but I would appreciate the board's consideration to approve this updated addendum to our SRO agreement, both with the Auburn Police Department and the Sheriff's Office of DeKalb County.
Thank you, Steve. This time I'll ask the board for a motion to approve the MOU with our resource office.
I'll make a motion. I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I don't know, can I discuss on that part? I just wanted to add, just as a shout out for APD and the Sheriff's Department, how well they've been working with us in terms of the amount of pay. It's a modest 2.5% increase from last year. They really work with the school district. They're excellent partners, and I think everyone in this room understands the value of having our SOR officers. I just wanted to point out that they are very willing to work with us financially speaking to keep costs down for us.
Good, thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, item H2 is our special education mentoring proposed scope of work.
Great. So you recall that last year we started a relationship with Dr. Angie Beasley when we started working on the plans for leaving if and when we left the co-op, and she was instrumental in that planning work. She's a former special education director, now consultant for several schools, not only in Indiana, but across the United States. And so we really valued that relationship, and it was very helpful as we worked through everything to come to our final decision to leave the co-op. So this evening, I'm respectfully recommending that the Board of School Trustees consider and approve the proposed special ed leadership mentoring scope of work. It was included in your packets, and it was provided by Dr. Balsley, for the 2026-27 school year. Again, the scope of work is intended to provide targeted professional scope to special ed personnel, and we're looking for it right now. This agreement is for next school year, 2027-28, and the proposed mentoring fee would be $5,500 for the project as proposed. She also adds that the contract may be amended to add additional services for an additional fee, which I think is important to have in there. Hopefully we'll be well covered with the original scope, but if necessary, it could be amended. So that's my proposal this evening, is for you to consider and approve moving forward with Dr. Balsley.
Thank you, Lori. At this time, I'll ask the board for a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, based off of the topic that we just heard about irony,
Say, I'm sorry, what, I didn't.
With the performance that we've had with iRead being so well and expanding away from the co-op, is there a plan on how we may have to do something different in order to make sure that we maintain that performance level? Because are we gonna have to count more kids within the district?
No.
No.
There should be no impact that way. I can only almost see it getting a little better, to be very honest with you. The programming will remain much the same as it is now, but again, the conversations we've had about possibly needing to increase some programs, but I would see us maintaining and even seeing better results than we have.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H3 is our Mozzie Education MOU.
So this is kind of exciting. It's big and exciting. Actually, Nathan Williamson, who is the founder of Mozzie Education, reached out to us and shared a grant opportunity with us that is closely on the horizon for us. And among the other things that he does for us, he is also going to contract himself out to help school corporations. The name of the project is the Opportunity to Learn project, and it's through Lilly Grant. I want to give you a little context because I know my memo was limited, but there's just a lot to it. So Lilly did this several years ago. It was one of the first years I was here, and we worked with a consultant, and we put a lot of time and hours in, and we didn't even get the planning grant at that time. And it was huge. The money was huge, and bigger schools down around the donut got it, and so we were a little bit disappointed, but we learned a lot. So this grant has two phases. The first phase is what they're considering a planning grant. Schools can get up to, well, DeKalb can get up to $100,000 for just the planning grant. And the planning grant is just intended to provide us with the time and resources to determine if we want to move forward with the large grant. And if we move forward, what are we going to write it for? What's it going to look like? Doing needs analysis, doing surveys, what are we going to use? It's a planning grant. The good thing about the planning grant and Mozzie Education, if they work with us, their financial reimbursement would come through the grant, and that would only be 50% of the planning grant if we were to receive it. And so that's guaranteed. If we don't get the planning grant, we're out nothing. We don't owe Mozzie Education, we're out nothing. Again, districts with 1,000 to 7,999 students can request up to $75,000, and then again, the fees for the initial partnership would be half of that. The remainder of it would be to go with any costs associated with the planning, including time, stipends, those types of things. So if we were to get that planning grant, then we would be allowed to apply for the competitive grant, which is anywhere from $600,000 to $17.6 million. That's how big this grant is. When you're writing grants of this magnitude, it's a lot of time, it's a lot of energy, it's a lot of research, it's a lot of analysis. It really could be a full-time job, to be very honest with you. And so I don't guess I know any school districts that don't hire somebody to help them. So this is what Mozzie Education is taking on. And my request this evening is for you to consider adding more to what we do with Nathan Williamson, so that he can assist us, number one, in the planning grant, and if received, moving forward with writing a very large grant. The grant money, this one's a little bit different. The grant funds are to be used to address, and these are choices, chronic absenteeism, transportation challenges, food insecurity, mental health, housing instability, out-of-school time programming gaps, wraparound services, and other community-specific challenges. So it's working with the community and contacting the people that can help us understand better what we need in the community. I think as educators, we have a pretty good idea of deficiencies with our students and our families and what would really help them, but joining forces with community members, I think, could be really, really powerful, especially for a large sum of money, and what we could do to help possibly even some existing programs. So those will be things that we would consider if we move forward on how and what we want to write this grant for, and what kind of data are we going to collect, and how many meetings are we going to have, and just everything you can imagine that needs to be put into the scope of the grant that we want. It's kind of overarching. It's a big wish, but it's not gonna be without a lot of work and energy and time. Probably call on board members, to be very honest with you, to be part of maybe, committees that are really tuning into what we want to write, how we want to write it, who does it impact, those types of things. So this evening, again, I'm respectfully recommending that the Board of School Trustees approve moving forward with Mozzie Education to provide professional grant development and writing support for the Opportunity to Learn Project Competitive Grant. And again, it is a significant grant opportunity that's going to take a significant amount of time and expertise. People that do this for a living have the inside curve on what people like Lily want and expect. They know a lot more about it than I do. I can't speak for you, but they know the ins and outs, and we really need that expertise. I did provide the scope of work proposal for you, and we would start, as if approved, we'll probably start talking about it tomorrow, to be very honest with you. The first deadline is coming fast. The deadline for the planning grant is September 15th. So I'm trying not to get nervous, but I am. And then it goes into the spring, it goes into March. So that's how big it is.
All right, thank you, Lori.
Yeah.
Okay, at this time, I'll ask the board for a motion to approve the Mozzie Education MOU.
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I think anything worth doing is, for the kids, is worth trying. I mean, we may not get it, you know that as well as anybody else, but if you don't try,
Gotta try.
you never
And,
know.
We're faced every day with so much of what we do, so much of what I do is impacted by our community and what's going on in our community. And this year, I believe, right at the onset, part of our registration process is everybody has to fill out a housing information form. And right now, I'm sitting at 37 forms that most likely will all qualify for McKinney-Vento, which is the Act for Homelessness. So there's lots of things in this community to look at, and I think it's exciting that we could be a part of making something better.
Right.
Well, I think this is one of the reasons why we have been working with Nathan already. These opportunities that he's aware of that we aren't.
Yeah.
And also, how many times have we already mentioned tonight community partners? And so, they help us so much along the way, and this is a way that we can continue to
help.
work with them
Yeah.
the other way around. So, absolutely.
Spot on, thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lori, for all your hard work on that.
Might as well just sit back, it's me tonight. This is a simple one, this is an MOU, this is an agreement that if approved would be between DeKalb Central Schools and Grand Canyon University. This one's been a long time coming. Grand Canyon does things a little bit differently, and so we had to come together on the MOU because we have a system in place for student teachers, practicums. We vet, we put it through a pretty good vetting system. And so Grand Canyon does things a little differently. We're now aligned. They presented me with an MOU that I feel fits what we do and will also fit what they do, and so that we can start accepting practicums, field experiences, and even student teachers from Grand Canyon University, as long as they meet the MOU requirements.
Okay, thank you, Lori. Do I have a motion from the board to accept the Grand Canyon University MOU?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I just thank you for this because as a teacher who's had student teachers, this is a unique way of doing it. And so I appreciate you taking a really close look at that and making sure we have really high quality
Yep.
student teachers in our classroom. So thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have some lined up that we know are,
I would imagine once I sign the MOU and send it back, I'll be getting a phone call pretty quick, yeah. And the thing about student teachers is, one of the things I enjoy is so many of them are former DeKalb
Yeah,
students. And,
absolutely.
man, anytime we can help our own out, that's just, you know, and then a lot of them come back here.
I used to tell people that, you know, they didn't really want student teachers because it messed it up their teaching style. I said, you know, someone took you in at one point in time.
yeah,
And it's really fun.
I said, suck it up. 'Cause you know
Our
what?
own, right?
You never know.
Yeah.
They might be replacing you.
right. Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, item H4, DHS Make 48 program.
Yeah, this is exciting for Mr. Wagner in the high school. This is, I think, something new. I'm just going to read through the first couple paragraphs for the public's sake. But DeKalb High School makes the 48 program. MOU is attached to your board memo. Please accept for your consideration and approval for DeKalb High School's participation in the Make 48 Innovation Experience during the 2026-27 school year by entering into the attached MOU in your packet. This program will be incorporated into our entrepreneurship pathway taught by Mrs. Johnson and will provide students with an authentic, hands-on opportunity to take entrepreneurial concepts from an idea through product development, prototyping, and ultimately a final pitch. Sounds kind of familiar because we have some things like it, but it's not exactly like it. Also, Mrs. Johnson sounds very familiar because she's at the helm at lots of these types of programs for our kiddos, and she does a really great job with it. Make 48 is a team-based innovation and product development program designed to engage students in real-world problem solving. Students work collaboratively to address an authentic challenge, develop and refine an idea, create a prototype, consider its market potential, and pitch their solution. The program provides teacher training, curriculum, and student resources, real-world industry challenges, and ongoing support through the experience. And if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Wagner, but she wrote a grant for this, right? Or did she apply for it? How did she get chosen?
So she applied for it. The $3,000, I just said, well, can you find a sponsor, donor? They have like a wait list. And then you go on a wait list and then they notified us that we basically went on the wait list, waited 2 months, and they moved this to, we have a sponsor. Sponsors can come from all over. It's a national organization, so it's very similar to Innovate Within, which is more localized, and has been partnered with, started with like Try and Innovate, launched in DeKalb County. It's just kind of morphed, and the Innovate Within has been on Butler's campus. We've had students go down there and compete. So same type of thing, just all done electronically through video, with her guidance in the classroom.
And I think Ashley is no stranger to the folks in Indianapolis when it comes to these types of programs. And she's also Milliken Teacher of the Year, that doesn't hurt. So she's made a name for us and we're really proud of her. If approved, we would participate in the standard tier at a cost of $3,000, which allows for up to 2 trained facilitators and up to 200 student participants.
Now, the sponsor, does she have like a relationship? Do they interact with this at all or just?
She'll interact with Make 48.
Okay.
The sponsor is really just there to provide the funding for it.
Okay.
Just the money.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, at this time, I'll ask the board for a motion to approve the Make 48 MOU.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Okay, item H6.
Yeah, we're gonna
Our
wrap up
policies.
tonight, I'm gonna wrap up tonight with the policies. The first one is a policy revision. I don't think it was 2 weeks after we looked at the wellness policy and adopted it, that the state came out and made a change. As you read from your memo, the USDA regulations require state agencies to establish a maximum number of exemptions allowed for food and beverage fundraisers that do not meet the nutrition standards. Our existing policy, which we had just approved, recently reviewed and adopted, allows for 2 exemptions to this rule per school year. That was our policy review. But again, since our adoption, the DOE has revised their exemption along with the USDA and now allows for up to 6 exemptions to this rule. When Aubrey asked the principals what they thought about that, would they want to move to 6, heads were nodding before they even got it out of their mouth. So we'd like to move that from 2 to 6. That's the revision that you see on the page sample that I provided for you. And we would make that correction then and repost the revision.
Thank you, Lori. Do I have a motion from the board to approve the policy revision?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Welcome to the DOE, right?
And the USDA, those are the big boys. We don't want to tangle with the USDA.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next up is our first reading and adoption.
Okay, and finally, this evening, I'm presenting the following revised board policies for first reading and consideration for adoption. The proposed policies are being brought forward as part of the district's ongoing process of reviewing and maintaining board policy to ensure alignment with current laws, regulations, guidance, and district practices. The following policies are presented for the board's review. Policy number 4340, acceptable use of the internet, the student version. Policy number 3331, acceptable use of the internet, staff version. Policy 4360, reporting threats, intimidation, battery, and harassment against school employees, the student version. Policy 3361, reporting threats, intimidation, battery, and harassment against school employees, the staff version. And finally, policy number 3420, resignation of employees. The proposed policies and revisions were included and are included with the board materials. I think everything was denoted there. And again, periodic review and revision is crucial to maintain effective governance and a good framework. So we're trying to get that in good shape for everybody's sake as we work through these.
All right, thank you, Lori. And at this time, I think we will take all of the policies at once unless you object at all. Okay, I'll ask for a motion to approve the policy revisions in the first reading and adoption.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for your
Lori.
patience
Thanks for all
tonight.
your work
I
on
appreciate
it.
all your help.
Okay, that concludes our work list. Item I is our miscellaneous. So I'll open up to our board members tonight if you have anything miscellaneous you'd like to share or celebrate.
Sure, I'll go first. I think the first day with all the people driving in went better than expected. I think the parking lot filled up faster than I think the students thought. So I mentioned that, maybe the seniors, if you haven't figured out that you should probably sign up for a parking spot because they're stretching the parking for students in the middle school. You should probably do that since they rained out the last time. I think you can still sign up and hopefully find a slot where you can park because it's going to be limited. And then in January, it'll get a little worse.
Is there
maybe
a
less
highest
better.
number of seniors that got spots this year?
Is it worse or
There are a
less
lot of
better?
painters out
Hey,
there.
they are smart people.
93 spots
Oh, wow.
that were purchased, so that's like a third of the senior class.
Yeah.
That's a good number.
It's a really good
There were a
number.
lot of people out there painting.
I wonder what percentage of the seniors drive? I know you don't know, but that's a fourth. That's
That's a good number.
a good
Yeah.
number. hopefully they're safe. The cybersecurity meeting, I know that's September 10th. That's before our next board meeting. We were there at that security meeting, and I know the guy he's really intense, but man, it surely shocked me with the information that he gave. And if you're listening, if you're not, if you hear what's going on, you need to be here September 10th. I mean, it's happening whether you think it is or not. So just be there. Don't wait for your neighbor to go. You need to show up and be there just to hear what's going on and then ask questions. I know we had a tentative date for the groundbreaking. Is that
Yeah.
set in stone?
It is set. Yes, next Wednesday,
That's the 26th, so
5 o'clock. Yes, it is set.
don't just bring you and your kids, bring the neighbors, bring your friends. It's not kind of a big deal, it's a very big deal.
And it's for both the Barron Activity Center and also the Performing Arts addition and renovation.
Right, so it'll give people an opportunity that haven't been on campus yet to see what's going on and go, wow, it's not like I remember. Every time I come back, it's nice that people are parking in the soccer tennis parking lot. That's nice. I can't wait till the pavilion's done, and it's just it's a great place to be. It's a great buzz. I'll stop.
You did great.
Thanks,
Covered the majority.
thanks.
Got anything?
I don't believe so.
Few things. One, as I know we're still in design stage, but do you guys have any cost savings that you could share as to what we initially started out with cost as to where we think maybe we found something special that we're just gonna save some money on?
Well, I'd love to tell you that I found cost savings, but that's not where we're at right now. It's still pretty early. We did have our GMP1 bids come back, and they were on par with where I thought we would be. So it's not bad news and it's not great news. I'll just say we're where I assumed we would be.
As
And,
expected.
yeah, so that is good news. I would like it to be better news and say I found savings. Maybe down the road, there will be, but I tell you, when I get together with performing arts teachers, don't look for cost savings, okay? They want it all. They're tough negotiators.
It's been a long time.
They band together.
I've told every person involved, I have told that I learned from my father long ago, and I won't use the exact language used because it's not appropriate, but you don't anything.
Have to do
Yes.
something.
Yeah, have to do something. So when you're on a $30 million project like this, I want it to be exactly what everybody wants in terms of educator. May not happen, but I will do everything I can to make sure funds are available to get everything they want. You just don't want to go into a project like this and start cutting corners. You're spending that much money, you better make it what you want for a long period of time.
And then for next month's board meeting, can you put together a list of what we've made as far as interest income
Absolutely.
for the year?
Yep.
And then last thing, and it goes right along with what Mark said. Performance arts, but a number of people call me and say, all right, why are we starting on band first? I said, the committee discussed this in detail, because unless you wanna forego your performing arts programs for a year, you can't have these kids performing in a construction site. So you have to have a facility for them to go to use while theirs is being renovated and rebuilt. I said, so that's why band is being done first.
Well, and our teachers have been very accommodating, and they know that the sooner they can be accommodating to this process, the sooner they'll have their space. So you're gonna see the back start initially, because it's just easier and quicker to design, but the performing arts area is gonna be following right behind it. So both are gonna be worked on really simultaneously throughout this process. Because the teachers have figured out, along working with Mr. Wagner, where they can conduct their classroom. They have the auditorium, they have other spaces at the high school where they won't need the Barron Activity Center because their spot is gonna be under construction. They have other places in the high school that they'll be able to be in long before the back is even close to being finished.
But from their standpoint, right now, the only thing they see is fence around.
Oh, sure.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I'm sure the questions started coming up when barricades and fences
Yeah.
are up. And
Oh, the other
And I'll-
fences are
back
coming
here,
though.
nothing up front.
It won't
Just
be
to
long.
expand on Steve's comments a little bit, yeah, yes, the fences went up, and I've heard the comments as well. We're working on the back and the pack simultaneously. The design phase of the pack is much more intensive than the back, because the back is gonna be a pre-engineered building. So if you think about the bleachers, I got all the phone calls as soon as the steel went up on the bleachers. Wow, you're gonna make the first game. Slow down. It's gonna be the same thing with the back. That building is gonna go up pretty fast once they break ground, and everybody's gonna be like, wow, it's gonna be ready for next year. No. I mean, there's a ton. Once the initial structure goes, that's when the back will slow down a little bit. But the building itself, people are gonna be excited when they see it going up, but we're not gonna be anywhere near completion. And the pack will start breaking ground probably December, January. So both projects are being worked on. It's just that the visual of the back fence going up, we wanted to get that in place long before we were going to break ground so that our students and staff and parents understood this part of the parking lot is going to be not accessible. We didn't want to start the year letting everybody park everywhere. And then one day the fences go up, and now Marcus has got to scramble to get, communication out. We wanted to start the year out and go that way. So I've had some phone calls from PAC parents as well, and I've assured every one of them, and it's worked. I haven't had call backs, but it's a good point to bring up that both these projects are being worked on simultaneously. The PAC could very well be done before the back, honestly, depending on what
Yeah.
trips us up along the way.
Thank you for the additional comment.
Yeah.
So Tio, we'll need you for traffic control again.
Yeah.
About January when they come back
Yeah.
from winter
We
break.
reroute.
That's the next,
reroute.
yeah.
There'll be some rerouting at that point.
Just
Yeah.
make sure there's not a Purdue home game that night. Okay. I can help in the morning, but Mrs. O'Neill gets a little angry if we run late.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of minds put together for just the traffic flow with, putting up the fencing. But I do think it was smart to do that now, just to kind of get everyone in sync and trained. And I think safety-wise too, with construction, vehicles coming in and out, and we have buses, and, I think that was important to do. And I think everyone putting their heads together and making it safe. And I know we will be changing it again as soon as the other fencing goes up, so.
Yep.
It'll be something else to navigate. But does anyone have anything else?
I got a personal thing. I gotta wish my wife happy anniversary tonight.
Oh, boy.
She's not gonna listen, but I did it,
Nice.
so
You got the points for it.
Thanks
Good
for
job.
being here.
42
Thank you for-
years, so
Congratulations.
so far.
All right. How about our administration?
Good.
I just referenced, during our leadership team meeting this morning, received an email. It's always nice to get an email saying, hey, this school's been recognized. So our high school is recognized as a U.S. News and World Report Best High School. And there's a lot of criteria that no one reaches out to DeKalb Central for criteria. They access what's available at the Indiana Department of Ed, and they ranked DeKalb High School based on numerous criteria, 53rd out of 490 high schools in the state of Indiana, which puts them in the top 11%. So I think this is now, since 2020, the high schools received this recognition. So that's always a nice thing to be recognized for that, a lot of hard work that's happening there and across our district. So just wanted to reference that. You'll see more as we have a press release that will go out for that.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Angie, I have one thing. I didn't slide it in because it's just informational, but, my nerdy self being the money guy, this is big news for the district and my team in the business office in particular, as we get ready to sell our bond for the backpack. And by the way, I have to call out Katie a little bit here. I'm very impressed. I don't know where that information came from when you shared the happiness. Very few people read the S&P updates. But Katie sent Steve and I the congratulations on that. I was floored that somebody actually reads an S&P on
Well,
it
it was
besides myself.
in our.
It was in the ISBA. They sent
Oh,
it to
okay.
us all.
We made
Geez,
we
you
made
guys
the
didn't have to
ISBA.
Katie just
snitch her
reads-
out.
I did.
I was
read
most
that.
impressed.
No, you just read it every day. So
I read it every day.
Read 'em.
So as you can see, we use the S&P for credit validation as we get ready to sell bonds. And I won't bore you with what the S&P is, but I'll just equate it to when you get your personal credit rating, your credit score. When you're buying a house or getting something, you know, you have TransUnion and all those credit agencies that look at your credit rating for a personal level. That's what S&P does at the school, finance, and other organizations level. For anything that's going to be bonding for money, S&P does the reviews and gives credit ratings on organizations, okay? So that's who we used, that's who Stiefel uses for their ratings for us as we get ready to sell a bond. You can see there's two ratings there. The underlying rating is the one that got increased, and that underlying rating is on DeKalb Central's financial position alone, not taking anything else into consideration. I'll come back to that in a second, but the second rating you can see is the enhanced rating. The AA plus is one step down from the maximum rating you can have, which is AAA for S&P. So we're right there at the very top. What that takes into consideration is a little something called the State Aid Intercept Program. Not something we want to deal with as a school corporation, because what that basically does is that's protecting bondholders and saying that's a separate piece that's put into place to protect bondholders in the State Intercept Program. In essence, if we find ourselves in a financial position that we can't make our debt payments, the state can step in and say, I think I'm going to allocate some of your other money that we give you from the state to pay your debt payment. Telling bondholders, we will put precedent on you, okay? So bondholders see that the state could step in if we're unable to pay, and that is what they're really concerned about, getting their money, right? If they loan us money as a bondholder, they want to know they're going to get their money back. So that's what the enhanced rating means. The underlying rating, again, is strictly our ability as a district to repay debt. Okay, as you can see on there, we've had 6 consecutive years of surplus, meaning what we budgeted and revenue coming in, we've stayed underneath what the state has provided us. The second one, where we have 17.7 million in available reserves, underneath that, it's kind of hard to read. That represents about 46.1% of our operating revenue. Put that in layman's terms for you, 46 cents of every dollar of revenue we take in is what we're saving each year right now in reserves. Meaning, and don't take this literally, that equates to about 5.5 months of us operating without taking any revenue in. Now, obviously you have bigger months, 3 pay period months, things like that. But on average, you can equate that in layman's terms as meaning if we went 5.5 months right now with no revenue, we could still sustain and operate. That's a huge number. Can you scroll down a little bit? One more. The 7.98 annual AV growth, that's what we've seen over about 5-6 years. That's going away, just so you know. That number is going to continue to plunge. As this year's, I think I've shared with the board, our NAV has come in. It's 0.26% increase this year. Not 2.6, 0.26 of a percentage point increase in AV. It's better than a lot of school districts, okay, that have gone negative because of SEA 1. Next year will be negative. I can almost guarantee it, because of the effects of SEA 1. And that's what school districts, that's why you're seeing right now we're at 38 school districts applying for referendums through the state, just to keep the doors open. Not like what we bond for to build something. This is strictly to operate. You can see, if you've seen, I share with Steve all the time, and I should probably share with the board, school districts that are trying to get a referendum passed, or extracurriculars are going away, transportation is going away. That's where we're at with the state of finance right now in public education. For us to have an increased rating, and I won't give names of who told me from Ice Miller, who sent Steve and I an email, he believes this is the first increase he's seen all year for a school district in an underlying rating. It's a massive accomplishment. That's 4 steps below S&P's maximum rating is where we stand as we hit A+ status, meaning that the creditors are seeing us as an excellent investment and a very low risk. So to me, what it tells me is, we're doing things the right way financially as a district. The reserves are key to be able to operate if something comes up in the district. What else it means is that the timing is perfect because we haven't sold the bond yet. This, historically, an increase in rating like this equates to about 5 basis points, which, layman's terms again, is about 5/100ths of a percentage point. What that means to us on a $30 million bond, we could be saving anywhere from $120,000 to $240,000 on this bond over the 15-year span. So it's a massive savings for this district. Huge, exciting news that I wanted to share with the board.
So you did find a cost savings.
I'm like, there it is. I was gonna say,
There
there
you
it is.
Hasn't sold yet. I need to, preface it that we have not sold the bond yet. That's coming up in a few weeks. And we're only going for about 18 million of the 30 million right now. I think I've discussed with the board, let's not take it all until we need it.
Right.
As I work with Garmin Miller and FCI, I feel the number we're asking for right now is going to sustain us through at least a year. And then probably in the fall, I'll come back to you with the next bond sale. After I saw this increased rating, I wish I would have probably done the whole 30, because please forget this whole conversation if our rating goes down in the fall. I don't think it will, but if it does, I don't want you to all bite my head off.
When does the next rating come out?
It comes out whenever it's requested by the bondholder or by Stiefel. That's when we'll do our rating. Okay, so they don't rate us unless we're getting ready to sell a bond, because they need that information to pass on to the bondholders and whoever's gonna buy the bond.
I was just gonna say, just make sure you're there for the next bond before it goes down.
Exactly. So, huge news for the district, and kudos to this entire district for putting up with me and all of my cost savings approaches, and being adamant about increasing our cash reserve, because as you see the other districts struggling, we're not in that position yet. We very well could be in a few years down the road if the state doesn't, change trajectory a little bit. But right now, I'm very happy with where we're sitting financially. And if you have more comments, any other comments on that? I did have one more thing, sorry.
Oh, well, I just think that's really exciting, and thank you. It's always awesome to see ISBA mention us in a
Yeah.
positive light, and that's fun, so.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go back to and I hope I'm right on this. We were all pretty much outside for the first couple of days of school when kids were being dropped off to help traffic flow and things like that, see how things were going. I was simply amazed at our students. I mean, you want to talk about something new for high school age students. If you haven't seen it, over to get to high school, there's barricades set up and they've got a little path that they have to walk down. And if they ride buses, we have a little stone area they have to walk across where the buses are to get to this little path. When I was out there, kids were like perfect. I realized it was the first week, maybe that'll change a little bit, but we had zero issues. We obviously, we always have a few bus snafus as well. So pickup time at the high school at 3:20, and then we had a bus the first day that was running a few minutes late. Those kids were they're perfect. So I just wanted to give some kudos to our students. It was truly amazing. I don't know, has it changed, Marcus? Is it still good this week?
It's still good.
Yeah.
They've done a great job. I think the high school, middle school students, just as they go out to the buses, as the new lineup, it's moved. They've been in. They've adjusted well, but I think kids are adaptable. They're going to do what we ask them to do. I think that's. I think it's the same thing. I've talked to Carrie, not to put you on the spot, but even new cell phone law. We've had. It's picked up here in the last few days, but they've done a great job, and I think you're seeing the intention behind that law. You're seeing kids talk, you're seeing kids engage with each other a little bit more than what they were, and they may not like it, but I think it's working, and they've done a good job with that. So I think it's great to have kids back on campus, and it's great to have them understand just some progress moving forward allows for us, some different changes for them. They've done a good job with it. I think even our parents and traffic flow, just changes of things, drop off, coming in, exiting, not being able to go back in the back. I think they've done a great job of helping us out, making sure. I think tonight buses were 3:35 rolling, which is typical for us. So I think we've got it pretty well dialed in for the next few months, and then we'll change and see what we can do.
It's okay. Thank you.
Thank you, yeah. Love all the positives. Yeah, lots of good things are happening. Thanks, everybody.
I didn't have anyone sign up to speak tonight, but does anyone have anything else in the audience that they'd like to share? Okay. At this time, we will conclude our meeting. I will ask the board for a motion, but prior to doing that, I will announce that our next regular board meeting is September 15th here at Central Office at 6 o'clock p.m. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thank you.